Cleaning abandoned houses is my business, and I take pride in it. At 24, I built this from the ground up and I make good money because these jobs, they're not for the faint of heart. Over the years, I've seen some crazy things, wild animals, squatters, even human remains. But nothing, absolutely nothing, compares to the house that still haunts me. The job came through Amelia, my real estate friend. Small place, minimal clutter, she said, but then her tone shifted. Lori, this house creeps me out. The granddaughter is selling, but her grandmother died there. I barely made it through my walkthrough. I felt like I was being watched. I'd cleaned plenty of death houses before, but something about Amelia's unease made my stomach tighten. Still, a job was a job. The next morning, Morgan, my best friend and most trusted coworker, and I pulled up to an overgrown driveway. The house was a weathered skeleton, forgotten and rotting. You sure just the two of us can handle this? Morgan asked, eyeing the mess. I waved her off. Amelia wouldn't underestimate it. The key was under the mat, just as promised. The lock groaned as I turned it, and when I pushed the door open, the house greeted us with a long, drawn-out creak. The air inside was thick, stagnant. Dust covered every surface and faded photographs still clung to the walls. I started scrubbing the grimy living room windows while Morgan went upstairs. Minutes later, she called my name. What? I yelled back. Silence. Annoyed, I stomped up the stairs, each step groaning under my weight. At the top, the hallway stretched into darkness. One open door on the left, one closed door on the right. Morgan stood in the open doorway, staring at something inside the room. It moved, she whispered. I followed her gaze. The bed was crooked, the bottom pulled several inches from the wall, like it had shifted on its own. But that wasn't the worst part. The mattress had an imprint. The distinct shape of a body, as if someone invisible was lying there. A shiver crawled up my spine. I grabbed Morgan's arm. Let's finish downstairs, I whispered. She didn't argue. As we cleaned the kitchen, footsteps creaked above us. Slow, deliberate, pacing. Don't, I muttered as Morgan tensed. She stayed silent, but we both worked faster. The last room was an office, the floor covered in stained, worn-down carpet. I switched on our rechargeable vacuum, letting the loud hum fill the air. Then Morgan screamed. I killed the vacuum just in time to hear it. A horrible, wet, gurgling sound. Like someone choking. Screw this. I grabbed what I could, Morgan doing the same, and we ran, bolting through the kitchen past the living room, out the door. My heart pounded as I reached the van, but Morgan hesitated. I left supplies upstairs, and we didn't even clean the bathroom. I'm not charging the client. Get in. I yelled. As she climbed into the passenger seat, I took one last look at the house. There, in the upstairs window, was a figure. Watching. The van roared to life and I floored it. Later I called Amelia. Find someone else. I'm not finishing that job. Months later, the house still lingers in my dreams. Last night, I was in a bed, staring at a cracked ceiling, feeling weak, paralyzed. Something crawled on top of me. Cold, bony hands wrapped around my throat, squeezing. That same wet, gurgling sound escaped my mouth. I woke up gasping, drenched in sweat. The bruises on my throat are still there,